Okay. Let's see. I am live. Ooh, and on time too. Yes. Okay. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stacey Storino. Welcome back to my channel. This is the number one place for the more mature entrepreneur who likely already has a business up and running, and they realize they have to do content marketing to get out in front of their ideal customer, right? But they need to do content marketing that brings them conversions, right? So it's all about driving more traffic to your business so that you can do more business. Otherwise, who cares if you're on TikTok or you're doing Instagram Reels or whatever? Who cares if you're on YouTube every week? If it's not bringing your business conversions, it's busy work. And especially if you're an older, more mature entrepreneur, this is the place to come, whether it's through my pre-edited videos that are neatly organized into playlists on the channel, or it's through live streams and replays like this, where the more mature entrepreneur can come and talk frankly and or be educated frankly on what works and what doesn't work and what they can do and what they can get away with not doing and still get the 3 macro conversions their business needs to succeed. Yes, you do need to have a brand-based following on social. You're not a legacy brand. You're not like a planet with your own gravitational pull. You have to build that gravitational pull through search and suggested. So you do need social proof. So yes, you do need more followers. More importantly, because you can't deposit followers in the bank, you need more people to get on your email list. And then most importantly of all, you need sales. If you don't have an email list, you're making very few, if any, sales. I could all but guarantee it. If you're trying to just sell through a website floating out in the ether and or through social, it's not going to really work, or it's not going to really work well. If all the pistons in the engine of your marketing plan are firing properly, about 25% of all your sales can come from your website and through social together, like folks out in the wild, as I like to call them. But roughly 3/4 or 75% approximately of your sales should be coming from an email list. If somebody doesn't want to get on an email list for like a coupon or a freebie or whatever, they're probably not going to buy from you anyway. So you need to learn how to, get all 3 macro conversions and ascend people into a relationship with you. And that's the types of things that I teach through lives, replays, or through pre-edited stuff on my channel. So my students know what to do. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. That really helps me out. Forget how it makes me feel. It's going to push this live out to more people while this live is live. And then on the replay, the algorithms are more likely to push this video out, the replay video out, to my subscribers. So I'm on the march to 1,600 subs. I got like 1,000 in the first 10 months I worked this channel. It is pretty fun, and I'm glad. So every day during January 2022 rather, I will be doing a live stream here. Then after that, the plan is to go back down to every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a live stream and a replay. This is kind of my give back to the community, not just to the students who pay me, but to everyone else who supports me otherwise out on social. So let me just greet my students. Today we are going to talk about, I'll greet the students and then jump right into the teaching. But today we are going to talk about having a more joyful approach as an entrepreneur to your business. I've been coaching for going on to 9 years. I've had thousands of students across the globe. I am telling you, it would be really hard to stump me at this point. If you're not very joyful about your business, it's usually one of several themes that are going on. And if you don't kind of stop blocking your own blessings or getting out of your own way, you're not likely going to have a successful business anywhere. If you have one, you're probably blocking the blessings of being able to pole vault to a whole nother point where your business can go. You need to continue to evolve and up level. And it's hard to do that if you're not joyful in your business. And then, especially if time allows, we're going to talk about how to make things more joyful for people in your social community, for people on your email list, and of course, for your customers. Okay, that's the idea. That's the plan for today. If you have missed any of the previous live streams, now replays, we're on day 26 while this is being shot live. I cannot believe We are getting down to the end of January. The first pinned comment, either live or on the replay, will be to the playlist into which all of these replays go. Sure, every video can stand on its own. Every live stream's teaching can stand on its own, but for best results, and I think today is going to be one of those examples, at least with some passing references I'm going to make, you're going to wish you could go back and listen to the other videos just for best results. All right, let me greet everybody, and then we're going to go into the teaching for today. Hi, Linda George, what's going on? And make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps not me out, but the other students who aren't here right now. So Linda George is here, Linda Nagoda is here, Christine from C. Pennell Jones is here, Heather Dupay is here. Hello, Miss Heather. Hello, Miss Heather. She is here. Carol O'Neill is here. What's going on, Miss Carol? If you're hashtag live, let me know. If you're hashtag replay, let me know also. You guys know I have students in practically every continent on Earth. Lucky me, I love it. And I know that there's a bunch of different time zones. So if you are watching on the replay for whatever the reason, let alone that you're not in this time zone awake with us right now, you know me. I'm going to give you a thumbs up. I'm going to give you a heart. I'm going to recognize and appreciate the fact that you are here. Okay, Ann McDonald is here. Kim Arnold is here. We're going to get right into the teachings. Just let me greet everybody. I always feel like it's rude if you don't. Marissa Parsons is here. Susie from the Speckled Moon by Susie B is here. Woo! And Tiffany is here from Unbound by Tiffany, right? I don't think I missed anybody right now. Didn't mean to. Lisa Garrett, what's going on, Miss Lisa? Always good to see you. Carol says, sneaking on to listen until I can't. That's all right. That's all right. All right. So let's talk about enjoying the business of being an entrepreneur. Then I'm going to, along the way, I'll get into various blocks that I see people have from like 8 going on 9 years of doing this sort of coaching. I'm a business coach. I'm a content marketing coach. Sure, you could use this in your personal life too, but I'm shooting things through the lens more predominantly of an entrepreneur, because you would be surprised how many people, their personal life is good to great and they're a wreck when they go to be an entrepreneur. That happens more than you think. So I want you to be able to enjoy being an entrepreneur. And sure, you're probably thinking to yourself, as I might have years ago, I've been an entrepreneur, even just side hustling while working full-time as an attorney. It's over 20 years for me being an entrepreneur, but then being a business coach, I'm going into my 9th year. Okay. So, I know that way back when, even 10 years ago, if somebody had said, oh, you should be able to enjoy being an entrepreneur, you'd say, well, easy for you to say, you're probably making multiple 5, 6 figures and beyond. So of course, the more money you make, the more successful you are, the more clients, customers, patients, whatever that you have, the bigger your reach and the bigger your success. So sure, I could see you enjoying, your being an entrepreneur when all the pistons in the engine block of your business are firing. You don't have any kinks in the pipeline as a beginner. Maybe you're not a solopreneur anymore. I could imagine once I'm not a solopreneur anymore and I have a team, even if it's small, I could see enjoying my business more. But what about now, Stacey? What if I'm a beginner? What if I'm still struggling to find proof of concept in my business? Maybe. Some beginners come to me and they have proof of concept. They can make sales. They may even have an email list already. And when they run a sale, maybe they'll, they email their list, they get some sales out on social or through a shop on Etsy or through their Amazon, listings or what have you, they'll make money. If they are a coach or a course creator, maybe they have some customers, and that's great. So maybe they have proof of concept already, but still they're a solopreneur. They can't afford a team yet, right? Maybe they can reinvest back into their business a bit, but they can't do a ton, or they're barely profitable. So they go, how can I enjoy this? Like, I'm going to stick with my business because I love it. And I know I'm going to get better at doing the thing by doing the thing. And I know that I'm going to build up my street cred and become more credible, so that I make better first impressions. I get better KLT or know, like, and trust from people who are just coming across me for the first time, right? So if you haven't gotten on my email list yet, I have a new freebie. And so you can go to don'tbeafakeguru.com, all one word. And I put together from 8 going on 9 years of experience with this, 10 different things. It's not a checklist, it's a little bit of a guide. And I explain the top 10 things that could give somebody a bad first impression of you. When they find you in search, or they find you in suggested, or they look something up on Google and bam, you're there, or Etsy or Fair or whatever recommends a product of yours, right? I have students with all different kinds of business models, right? So go there and you can see some of the things that will give you a bad first impression. But like maybe you're a beginner, some things are working, but you're still alone. And for the foreseeable future, you have to wear all the hats, you have to juggle all the batons. How can I possibly enjoy my business at all or much? I can see how I could do it someday because I want to reach and teach more, or I will sell more products and have more happy customers and all those things. It'll be great. But how can I enjoy the process right now? Maybe when I don't have much, if any, money. Maybe when I don't have many students or clients or customers, right? So listen, fun. I want you to have fun and enjoy the business of being in business, because if it's not fun, that may explain some of the reason why you are engaging in self-sabotage. And if it ain't fun, you're not going to want to do it, right? If you're an adult, the concept of like fun might seem like it's light years away from where you had it when you were a child or even a young adult, right? When you were a kid, or at least younger than you are now, fun might have seemed to be like perpetually on tap, right? You enjoyed yourself a heck of a lot more, and you may have wished that you could be an adult to have more freedom, but it's like the grass is always greener on the other side, right? And I've been there myself at times, and I understand. So, like as an adult, even if you don't have any dependents, you're just living on your own. You know, it's hard because you do have a lot of duties and responsibilities. You have bills, they have to get paid personally, and then you have a business. So you're going to have some overhead from month to month. And then if you're reinvesting back into your business so that you can learn how to do content marketing more, or you pay for an auto posting, auto scheduling solution, you pay for whatever hardware and or software, you keep investing and reinvesting back into your business. And a good tax professional can tell you how much of any of this stuff you can write off. A lot of times it's 100%. This isn't tax advice. This is tax issue spotting. But okay, like how much fun can you have when you have all these duties and responsibilities personally and professionally? And if you have a family, now personally, everything's gone very exponential, right? So like the amount of fun that you can have personally and or professionally, I am sure for a lot of you, compared to your childhood, it seems like it's gone way down, Hey, Bridget from Personal Space Creations. Hey, Lenore Love, what's going on? Okay, so I understand the more duties and responsibilities, the more dependence of any age, whatever, fun starts to seem like drying up and you feel like you're a pat of butter. You can spread yourself out, but only so far before you practically disappear. And I've been there too, right? So it can be a long slog for you, and it may not feel so fun when your business is in the more beginner stages. You're shedding like a snakeskin the hobby aspect of your business. You are growing more into treating your business like a part-time to full-time business that's serious. But what can you do to bring more of the fun back into your business and back into your like entrepreneurial life, right? Well, if you were with us on day one, we introduced the concepts of, and by now you should have set your personal why and your professional why as it's going to operate for sure in 2022, right? I don't want you getting to December 31st, 2022, and you look back and go, the whole year's gone and I didn't hit many, if any, of my goals, and my business is still a hobby, or it didn't get profitable, or I never even hit multiple 6 figures and beyond, right? So like, because obviously the more of your goals that you hit, the more fun you can have as an entrepreneur, the more money you make, the more freedom and stability that you get, the more fun and the more enjoyable and joyful your business can be. Sure, I get it. But what do you do when you're in the beginning stages or not that much better? So the first thing is to have that personal and that parallel professional why. We talked about this in day one, kind of guiding you as your North Star. If those things aren't like the carrot to like the stick of being successful, I better be successful or I'm going to run out of financial runway and then I got to get a job. We don't ever have to worry about the stick. You're probably the kings and queens of, stick, but we want carrot and stick, right? So what's going to give you that second win? What's going to make you really positive? What's going to make you feel like it's worth the challenge? It's worth the fight. It's worth the climb up the ladder one rung at a time, one short-term goal at a time, so that you get to the next plateau, or maybe a long-term goal was achieved, or at least you've hit all these short-term goals and now you're at this new plateau. Time to set some more short-term goals, right? And have long-term goals at least through the end of 2022. You can go further out if that helps you. If it doesn't and it feels like too far out in the ether, don't worry about it. You can drop 5, 10, 20-year goals if that doesn't help you. But if that's going to make things fun and that's going to give you a sense of purpose, then by all means do it. I certainly have my long-term goals, but it's not for everybody. Some people are like, let me just get through this year. Okay, then do that. So living your professional entrepreneurial life in accordance with your entrepreneurial why while keeping your eye on your personal why, that should help with the positivity and the joyfulness, like the fun factor of working your business, because you're not going to get to either or both of those whys being achieved if your business isn't a successful one. If you drop it, if you treat it more like a hobby, because it just is too much discomfort, you have to get out of your comfort zone too much. You have to risk people judging you. You have to risk haters on social or unsubscribes because, you sent an email more than once an eon and now they're pissed, right? You have to say with all of the challenges and all the potential negativity and who's in my personal circle that might not appreciate my trying to be an entrepreneur, because let's face it, there are way more 9-to-5ers or employees out there than there are entrepreneurs. Go Google it. It's for sure true. This is not the gospel according to Stacey Storino, okay? So you're doing something that a lot of people in your network don't even understand, couldn't fathom. And since you're likely a more mature entrepreneur watching this, you might have even been accused of having a midlife crisis thinking you could have a business like this. Although, of course, with the Great Resignation going down, there's a lot of people who are in their 20s and 30s who are joining you saying, screw this, I'll just be self-employed and I'll work from home. I don't care. So I think you're actually in better company nowadays than you think. But, look, let's talk about how you, given your current facts and circumstances, can get more in step with having a joyful entrepreneurial outlook. If you have not set your personal and professional whys, and if those aren't guiding you and giving you excitement and hope, make sure you go to day one and listen to that training. And if you have any questions on any of the days in the replays, the first comment pinned both on the live and on the replay has the playlist into which all of these are going. Then on any given day that you're listening to stuff, ask a question on that day and I will circle back and help you. I'm happy to do it. But a lot of people here on the live right now, I know y'all worked. Hi, Alba Ranch. What's going on? I know a lot of you who are here on the live now, a lot of you are my students, and I know that you've set your whys. So, don't just set it and forget it. This isn't Ron Popeil here. I want you to really keep those whys, even if you're writing them out and sticking them on a desktop or something. Keep allowing yourself to think of the positives and the possibilities, right? And you ain't going to get there if you don't work your business persistently and consistently. So that's going to be more likely to keep you feeling happy and hopeful and bright and airy. Because if it's just stick, bills, negativity, I'm too paranoid, schizophrenic to get a hater or an unsubscribe, you think you're going to feel joyful about your business? No, you have to put the accent mark on whatever is going right now. Beginner, intermediate, advanced type student of mine or marketer or business owner But then you also have to say, what am I doing with my business from my personal and professional wise, right? Bringing us back to that. That's going to help me with every day that I work on my business and drive, through my content marketing, driving more traffic to my business to do more business. And when my business has proof of concept and it's like a couple of weeks to a month and I know it's not a fluke, if it's fiscally responsible for me, I can start running paid ads too, right? I talk a lot about organic content marketing on this channel, but just for the benefit of anyone live or on the replay who hasn't heard me say this yet, I'm not anti-ads. I just think that ads make a successful content concept or product or whatever succeed faster. If there's something wrong in the pipeline in your business and you're a beginner and you can't get sales ever, almost ever, from people who aren't your family and friends, then you don't have proof of concept. And all ad expenditures are going to do at that point is make a failing concept fail faster. It's just the bottom line. It's kind of common sense when you think about it. So your whys, your twin whys, should make you feel lit from within. If you were really very, intentional when you set them, because when you're living more in harmony with your personal and professional why, and you're working your business to help get you there financially and otherwise, you're going to feel closer to your real, true, and authentic self. How could you not? So you're becoming more evolved. You're up leveling from where you currently are. And of course, you're going to feel more positive. I have 5 other things that I want to say about your outlook, your positive outlook as a professional. And then we are going to get to my recommendations so that you can have a happier social following, a happier email list, a more joyful customer base with really good white glove customer service. So really quickly, Stephanie Hickson, what's going on? What's good? And then Bridget Upcycle Lawson is here. What's up? And Lenore Love says, I was just checking the lifetime of my email list. I have 540 unsubscribes. But you built up your email list quite a bit over the last year to 2 years, haven't you, Lenore? And she laughs at this and says, at this point, I'm like, see ya. It helps my open rate. Yes, it helps her open rate. Let me clarify, because I know she knows this. It's cool. You got to check your email list. Like, I kind of do it daily because I have a huge email list. I have thousands upon thousands of subs. So I can get dozens or more unsubscribes in a week. But as long as I'm still kind of growing more than I'm shedding, like what I tell you guys, you're still heading in the right direction. Some people just want the freebie and they're gone. Some people are like, you're going to email me every single day about a free live stream training every single day in January 2022 on your YouTube channel. Oh, that's too much. Well, I guess you weren't serious about being an entrepreneur if that's going to be too much for you. You know what I mean? Like what Lenore says is true. Anybody who's not willing to stay on your email list weren't going to buy from you anyway. They were there for whatever freebie, whatever opt-in, or they got a coupon and then they just sat on it. They talked themselves out of it, right? So and plus what she says, I want to clarify, when she says the unsubscribes helps her open rate, they only help her open rate. I know she knows this because she's deleting her unsubscribes. So I would check when you have a bigger, more robust list for sure. I would check daily to near daily. And once you have staff, you have them help you with that, right? But when you're a smaller beginner to intermediate, you might have a dozen or so subscribes every week and maybe several unsubscribes in a week. Once a week at minimum, you need to be deleting those unsubscribes from your list, because depending upon the email service provider, you could still be sending them emails even though they technically said, I want off. You might have to manually remove them. And then on the flip side, once you've removed them, your deliverability rate, your open rate, your click-through rate on any links that you put in your emails, those will actually go up because your list is smaller. So the amount of people on that smaller list, comparatively speaking, who are taking actions, that leads you to having better open rates, better deliverability rates. You're less likely to trigger a spam score or a spam filter. Does that make sense? You guys tell me if that makes sense or it doesn't make sense in the comments down below. And in the meantime, if this video is giving you any value so far, please give this a big thumbs up. Forget how it makes me feel. While we're live, more people who have subscribed to me will get a notification that we're live still. And then on the replay, more people will get the replay suggested out into their feed who have subscribed to me. So you're not so much helping me. You're helping the people who've subscribed to my channel, and we appreciate that. All right, so here's my 5 tips that have to do with how to be more joyful in terms of your outlook as an entrepreneur. So first of all, and we talked about this several days back. So Stephanie Hickson and anybody else, if this is your first day watching a live, the replays, all the replays, the first 25 replays are all in the playlist for, what did I call this playlist? The 2022 Entrepreneur Business Reboot Advice playlist. So all the replays for all 31 days in January, all 31 live / replays, that's where they all go. So day 1 was all about the personal and professional why. I believe it was day 5, we talked about your goal setting and or goal keeping ritual, right? So we talked about that. My first tip to stay joyful is, as an entrepreneur, is to keep that 5 to 10 minute goal keeping ritual. Doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be complicated, but like factor that in, plug that into your like appointments for the day. Don't fall out of integrity with yourself on this, because you get to celebrate. Like if you miss day 5, we really go back and unpack there, but very quickly, this is where you're catching yourself doing something right more than you're catching yourself doing something wrong. And all the little baby step goals or baby step to-dos that you crossed off your list, you get to celebrate those. You got to keep track of them over the course of the day. And for a lot of people were like, oh, it's really cathartic to like strike this stuff off a list or whatever. If that helps you, great. But during the goal keeping ritual, also any short-term goals that you accomplished, or at least you're so close to getting them accomplished, those should be celebrated too. Every day, right? Every day you celebrate progress. Every day you're like, ooh, look at all this stuff I crossed off the list. The list of like my professional entrepreneurial responsibilities. Oh, you know what? I actually achieved a short-term goal. Short-term goals, as I explained on day 5, are goals that you can accomplish within a business quarter or like 90 days. Anything longer than that, it's a long-term goal. Okay, so that's what you really need to look at. Oh, you're welcome, Miss Stephanie. It's good to have you aboard. I miss you, girl. I hope all is well. Okay, so definitely the goal keeping ritual. You get to catch yourself right for all the things that you've done, all the hard work that you did over the course of the day. The older you are, the more important I think it is to track what you're doing and to like congratulate yourself, because you could have a senior moment and forget everything that you did professionally. I have an accountability journal, quite frankly, where I track everything personally that I have to do, like household chores and stuff like that. And anything I have to do with my son after school and appointments that I keep. And then professionally, I have a separate part of my accountability journal where I strike off all those baby step goals or to-dos. And then that's where I track my 90-day goals or less, my short-term goals and my long-term goals. We always beat ourselves up for the things we didn't do, but you would feel more joyful and more accomplished, especially over time, as the grooves get deeper in the wood of this kind of like positive reinforcement. You're going to feel more like an actual real entrepreneur because you're working on your business every single day. You're using your power hour. That's something we talked about several days prior to. Even if you can't do something in 60 minutes, a total hour, you can split it up into 2 30-minute hemispheres. Half an hour earlier in the morning, you wake up, go to bed half an hour at night, a little later, or 4 15-minute quads that you time lapse out over the course of the day. Because if you are not working on your business for a minimum of an hour a day, you don't really have a business, you have a hobby. And even if you have all the intentionality of it, mentally, emotionally, you're committed to it, if you're not implementing at least a minimum of an hour a day towards your business, and that's not just customer service, it's content marketing, it's doing live streams, it's recording videos. It's if you're a physical products based business, you're creating those products, you're shipping them out. Networking. We talked about networking. Yes, what you can do still in real life, but of course, what you can do in Facebook groups or elsewhere where constellations of your ideal customers are going to hang out. If you're not implementing for an hour over the course of the day, however you can do it with your busy schedule, you don't have a business. But when you're doing that goal keeping ritual, you can give yourself credit for that power hour that you did and all of the more baseline implementation based stuff, or the cross off your list baby step goals or to dos. When you are celebrating what you're actually doing on behalf of your business and everything that you did right, of course, day after day, week after week, month after month of doing this, you're less likely to fall out of integrity with yourself in terms of your business. And so, of course, you're going to be more joyful. The more you implement, the better you get at doing the thing by doing the thing. Of course, you're going to feel more joyful. Learning curves are going to drop away. Things are going to get easier, more frictionless, right? So much easier to do. And of course, over time, you're going to build up a brand-based community with your content marketing. And when you can, running ads can drive traffic to it as well. You're going to get email marketing where you definitely have more people subscribing than unsubscribing. And it's definitely going to make you feel better. You have to send emails out to your list at least once a week or the trail goes too cold. Most people earn unsubscribes because people go, I haven't heard from this person or this business in how long, or I even forget that I was even on this email list. Do you know how many people are just like, there's statistics out there that show that most people unsubscribe from a list claiming they never got onto that list in the first place. They have no idea how they got on there. And usually it's because the person whose email list they were on, they waited too long to send out emails. They got lazy about it. They didn't prioritize it. They were too paranoid, schizophrenic that people were going to yell at them for selling. And now folks are like, whatever, I didn't even remember getting on here anyway. Spam. So instead, be more joyful about being successful towards your business one baby step at a time, one short-term goal at a time, one power hour at a time, one goal keeping ritual at a time, because you're going to feel more like a real entrepreneur and you're going to definitely see progress. If you are actually implementing during that power hour minimum a day, how can you not get better, get more effective at growing your brand-based community on social, getting your email list built up, and getting sales, right? So the second thing I'm going to do, I see your comment there. I'm going to get to that in a second, definitely. The second thing out of the 5 tips I'm going to give you is to commit to a daily approach to living, especially as an entrepreneur, but personally too, why not? That focuses on positive thoughts and deeds. Because if you don't name it, you can't claim it. And again, if you're constantly marinating in your current misery, personally, professionally, or both, you really think you're going to suddenly get turbo boosted to go implement? I highly doubt that. The third thing I'm going to recommend that you do is to try to enjoy a daily dose of nothing but humor. This can help you professionally and personally. This one's a dual benefit. Like maybe instead of negative programming, you listen to someone that's funny on a podcast, or if you stream old school radio, listen to something that's funny as opposed to negative folks, shock jocks, crank yankers and stuff. Like that's all dopey stuff that's renting out space in your head, and it's not making you feel joyful or positive or buoyant, right? And or, rope off some time to reach out to in real life, digitally, whatever you can do, your funny bestie or a family member who could make you feel happy, who could shoot the breeze with you in a funny, comedic way. Most of us have at least 1 or 2 of these people in our lives, and we really should be nurturing that relationship because we can laugh at their jokes or we can appreciate them, and then they feel appreciated, and it's a nice 2-way street. Don't talk about negative stuff. Don't talk about politics, the economy, potential wars, news. Nope. I want you to spend a daily dose where it's none of that crap and it's nothing but positive, upbeat, maybe even funny, right? Scroll by negative crap on social media platforms and focus on posts maybe that are fun or uplifting. And, depending upon the platform, you can train the algorithm. I don't want to see more of this type of stuff. And you can totally, totally do that. And over time, the algorithms are desperate to keep you on the platform longer. Give it hours or days, and you are going to see less news, less politics, less negativity, less whining from family, friends, or influencers whose lives suddenly went sour. Like, get away from that. Okay. Because you're not going to feel like a positive human, let alone a positive entrepreneur, if you're focusing on stuff that's going to have you marinate in your misery, their misery, right? Anybody who is in your life, in any place in your network that's dragging you down, whether they're downplaying or like totally don't get you're being an entrepreneur and they're kind of chipping away at your self-confidence, those people, you should go in the witness protection program from them, honestly. And you should unfollow them or do something so that you're not seeing them on social at all. Maybe they don't know about it, so there's no drama, but you can reduce the poison in the well water of your life, personally and professionally, and then surround yourself with other people who get you more as a human, let alone there could be special groups that just get you more as an entrepreneur. For example, I do have a free group just in case you're like, well, where would one of those groups be, Stacey? You could get into, what is it, content marketing for conversions on Facebook. That's a free group that I maintain. It's not a products based group per se. And it's not a paid student only group. And you can get in there, and I have a couple of resources that you can get free just in the files section of that group when you're in there. And then when I go live or have YouTube videos or I see articles or news, like I'll share it into that group. And then, group members can have conversations and post in there too, as long as they're not selling somebody else's stuff as a coach. Okay. I don't otherwise care, right? So the fourth thing that you could do to kind of live a more joyful life, just as a human being, let alone as a more successful or at least success focused entrepreneur, is to place the accent mark on really just doing stuff throughout your day, at least during your power hour, if not more, where you're taking advantage of any opportunity, even serendipitous ones that present themselves to you, so that you can live more in harmony with your personal and your professional why, right? If it doesn't satisfy one or both of those things, it should be edited out. It should be deleted, unfollowed, like I said. But I want you to focus on your goals. Now, we talked about from an entrepreneur's perspective, both income-based goals and other types of goals. We talked about those on day 2, 3, 5, and then at times afterwards, over the last 25 days that we've done live streams now / replays. So we talked about your SMAART goals, right? And how setting goals is just busy work if they're not actual plans that get very fine grained. So these are smart goals that on the other side of it, you actually have blueprints so that you can meet your short-term goals and your long-term goals, so that you do not get to December 31st and say, crap, I didn't hit many or any of my goals. My business is still a hobby. My husband, wife, significant other is going to kill me. Let's not go there, okay? Fifth, when you catch yourself going into old you mode, because in the beginning, the grains are in the wood for like self-sabotage or focusing on what's not going right in our lives, personally or professionally. Like it's hard, right? In the beginning, it's like working out in a gym. Like the muscles aren't even there really. You're working out with just your own body weight or 1 pound weights, right? You're not that strong, but 30, 60, 90 days later, you're at 5 to 10 pound weights, and you've got muscle tone, and you look back and go, wow, I'm so much stronger. And I would be less likely to default into 1 pound me. I'm more like 10 pound me, 10 pounds in the right direction, if you know what I mean. So anytime you catch yourself going into old you mode, when negativity and drama and trauma kicks in, or you're allowing it in from other people, especially if they're peeing in the Cheerios of you being an entrepreneur, take a deep breath, cut out, delete, unfollow, whatever you can, right then and there. Too bad, they'll figure it out later. right? And instead, refocus your attention, your energy, and your implementation muscles on anything positive, uplifting, and fun that's going to help you stay as more of an entrepreneur who's focusing on success, right? As opposed to failure. And it's not, I got to do all this stuff to be a successful entrepreneur. It's, I get to do, right? So let me just greet Catherine, and then Alba, if you're still here, I'll get to you. We're going to talk about how to make things more joyful for your social following, your email list, and your customers in just a second. Let me look at the time. We're doing good. Alba says, I didn't know unsubs could get sent an email. I pruned all mine a couple days ago, but I took it one step further. I pruned anybody who hadn't opened any emails in the last 90 days. That's okay, right? Actually, that's not a bad second step to take. What I would do, Alba, is anybody who unsubscribed, you just delete those, right? And then for everybody else that seems like they've lain dormant, what I would do is, I don't know what kind of email service provider you're using. If you're using something where you can segment your lists, segment out those folks who have not touched anything in like 90 days, right? And so you say that's a business quarter, that's a season. If they haven't opened anything, it doesn't automatically mean they're not interested. People can get really busy. So maybe send only those people if you can segment out your email list. Like, say you're not in the free version of MailChimp or something like that, for example. But maybe you're in ConvertKit, maybe you're in Entreport or something else, right? Constant Contact, I think you can, I've not used it, but I think you can segment with it. But regardless, if you can segment out to just that portion of your email list that hasn't touched anything in 90 days or less, have the subject line, or, be like, what are the words? I'm on the fly here. It would be something where if you want it to not be negative, but you want it to catch their attention. Are you still interested? Question mark. Are you still here? Question mark. Something like that. Okay. So that it's eye catching when they're scrolling through their inbox. They're more likely to open up that one, and then they can say whether they just want to unsubscribe or whether they want to re-opt in. So maybe if you can segment your lists, but they can like click like accept or stay, and then you can email them. Like, you can set up autoresponders to shoot out like a little gift to them for staying on board, like a coupon code or a freebie. It depends upon your business model, what you want to give them. You can do that. And if they don't answer by, and let them know when there's a deadline, you can put down a countdown timer, send trick. There's free countdown timers that, like in MailChimp, you can put in, for example. It's super easy. SENDTRIC, Centric. You can get like a free like little piece of code to put in a countdown timer. It's really easy. And they only have, I don't know, give them something reasonable, like 48 to 72 hours. They're either in or they're out. And if you don't hear from them or they don't opt no, then they're gone. Because then, yes, at the end of the day, Alba, that does tighten up your list more. And then the people who are left are going to be more and more active. And those are just not only better stats, because that's important. And it's not only going to keep you from like hitting spam filters or having bad deliverability rates, right? Which can, of course, have you triggered as spam too. But who the hell wants anybody on the list that just wasn't interested in what you have to say anyway? Like, it's a mercy killing, right? I would rather have 1,000 people on an email list where they all want to hear from me, and anybody who can buy from me would buy from me from month to month, as opposed to having a list of 10,000 people where, again, only 1,000 people, if you're lucky, want to hear from you. That means that 9,000 people could care less. Why would you want all that on there? Spam or not, deliverability or not. Also, don't forget, most email service providers, even if they have like a free or freemium tier or plan, once you start paying, you're paying for all, like MailChimp, for example, because I know a lot of my students use MailChimp, and Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill uses MailChimp as well. You're paying for all those unsubscribes. So you want to delete anybody who didn't want to be on your list for sure. That might save you some money. It might drop you to a level where I know you want your list to be big, but like I just said, you'd rather have quantity leads instead of, I'm sorry, you'd rather have quality leads as opposed to quantity leads, right? Makes sense? So, and if your quality leads are going to be just under a tier where you're going to have to pay more, save yourself some money, right? And even when you get a team later and you're like, I don't care about how much more money I have to pay, you don't want spam. You don't want lack of deliverability. You don't want aggravated people going, how many times do I have to unsubscribe from your list? Get me off. Like, you shouldn't ever see anything like that. Does that make sense? So Alba says, I was warming up an old list, so there had been 8 to 10 emails in that time with 0 opens. I'm an OO, but I'm learning how to do stuff. Okay, so I don't use OO. I'm not saying do or don't use it. All I'm saying is, like, make sure. I think they do offer you a little bit more per what you pay per tier on OO as opposed to MailChimp. But I just never moved Joe's because they're, it's not my business. It's my husband's and my father-in-law's. And they were just like, we want to stay where we're at. Then again, these were the people that I had to beg for 6 months to start an email list. Cause I'm like, you don't understand. You're going to sell more. We're a food stand. Who wants to come here? Who wants to rather have emails from us? We're like a 765 square foot stand on the side of the road. Who wants to hear from us? They're pushing towards 10,000 people who want to hear from them. And anytime they have like a coupon or a BOGO or anything like that, it's like printing money. It's ridiculous. May you all have that problem. So, yeah. So, OO, I think they have like a good knowledge base and a Facebook group and stuff like that. And that's learning curve. So, as you're training and implementing what you're training, that counts towards your power hour. Okay? So let's talk really quickly about the 3 ways to be a more joyful entrepreneur, to have a more joyful business, looking at how you can make things more joyful for your social following, more joyful for your email list, and more joyful, of course, for your customers. So if you're just using social media like profiles or feeds, like glorified bulletin boards, and you're just sticking your products out there or your services, because there's all sorts of different entrepreneurs who subscribe to me here and are students of mine. Some of my students know this old cadence. Here's my stuff. Post, post, post. My stuff comes in green. Post, post, post. My stuff's on sale. Post, post, post. Limited quantities of my stuff if you're a tangible products-based business, of course. And then they ask me, but why aren't people buying my stuff? I have beautiful pictures, and maybe they do. Or if they do reels and stuff like that, they have beautiful reels or TikToks or YouTube videos. Maybe the media itself is gorgeous, right? Like, how could they make it any better? And maybe they're posting with the right amount of frequency. So every algorithm or the algorithms that run on various platforms, they do reward you for being a frequent contributor. Is it a silver bullet? Not necessarily, unless you have a lot of critical mass behind you, but anything helps, especially as these platforms, all of them, get more and more competitive, right? So like people say, well, I've been posted to the bulletin board, at least the top 2 social media platforms that are most important for my ideal customers, Stacey, and I'm posting every single day. And how come I'm not getting sales? Well, first of all, remember, especially if you're a products-based business, same for coaches and course creators too. If what you're doing is the functional equivalent of what I'm describing here, you're a business, you should have plenty of those posts. I'm not saying you don't. What I'm saying is it's not so joyful and you don't really have a brand-based community and there's not a lot of KLT factor going, what I call the know, like, and trust factor. People buy, especially millennials and younger, and a lot of young at heart Gen Xers too, they would rather buy from people, business owners, and businesses that they know, like, and trust. You're not a legacy brand, okay? You're not the Gucci of your space. I don't think, if you're watching me here. So, like, Gucci is like its own planet. Okay, crap. They even had a movie, House of Gucci, recently. It's its own planet with its own gravitational pull. So a lot of the things that I teach, they may not be doing, or other legacy brands may not be doing at all, or much, or well. And you go, well, Stacey, why are you teaching me all these extra steps? Because people are going to go to them no matter what. and they certainly know how to look up Gucci and see what Gucci has posted. And they don't necessarily need all this whining and dining and romancing of content marketing or relationship marketing usually to make a purchase. There's so much know, like, and trust with those businesses. They can be sloppy about optimization. Like, if they're on Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter, if they don't use hashtags, or they're kind of sloppy about it, or using overly competitive hashtags and stuff, they can still rank and people will still find them because they know to look for them. And when that does not describe your brand, you can't be sloppy. And you can't just simply, even if you are just like a tangible products-based business, you can't just post, here's my stuff comes in green, and my stuff is on sale. Let me know if that's making sense to you, both live and on the replay. And again, if you're on the replay, hashtag replay, I'm going to give you a thumbs up and I'm going to give you a heart. And if you have any questions about anything I'm teaching today or any observations, even on the replay, please post. I will circle back and I will check for you. And if you haven't already, please give this video a big thumbs up, because forget helping me out personally, I don't care. But it's about it's about getting more people even on the replay to see this video. It's more likely to be suggested out into their feed. So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. All right. So you have to build up a brand-based community. And it's very difficult to do. I'm not saying impossible when you're not a legacy brand and all you're doing is posting picture, and little to nothing in a caption. Do you have to write tons of captions that are like long? No, you can mix up caption lengths. I want to say that studies show that mixing up caption lengths definitely helps. It gives a variety to your content in like a feed or account or say a YouTube channel, right? So yeah, your descriptions or your show notes, there are people who read them. And also the algorithms on YouTube will surface what's in your descriptions, as well as crawl over your videos or your pictures or whatever, depending upon the platform, as well as look at your hashtags, where those are important on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, as well as any keywords that are in the captions that go with your, say, social media posts or your descriptions or show notes for your YouTube videos, etc. So all this stuff is important. All of it is. If this stuff were easy, everyone would be able to rank #1, and they'd all be fighting at the top with like all the Planet Gucci's and Planet Tiffany's out there. I mean, come on. It kind of makes sense when you think about it. Catherine says, it makes perfect sense. People want to buy from knowing you, not just pushing sales. Yes. So if you're on my email list, you guys know that I try to give you value every single week. I'm a more advanced business owner. When you're a beginner and you're getting out of hobby mode, or you're just starting and you're trying to find proof of concept and like slowly but surely you're building up your street cred, I say 2 sales promotions a month. Once you're intermediate, it's not if you're going to make money when you send out an email or post on social that you have like a sale. It's just a matter of how much. And you have an email list that's growing. It's not huge. You're not an advanced business yet, but it's growing. And it's much better than it was the first couple of weeks or month or two that you were up persistently and consistently marketing for real, right? And when you're getting sales, I would push to 3 sales a month. And when you are a more advanced business owner, 6 figures or at least close, or over 6 figures. And I have quite a few students who fit that bill, 6, multiple 6 and 7. And now I'm helping someone under an NDA that's a multiple 7-figure business. So, so I'm telling you, once you're bigger like that, I love you, honey. Have a good day. You should be selling every single week, if not every single day, depending upon your business model. So more advanced businesses should be selling every single week. They should be averaging a sale every single week because you're a business. But it doesn't mean that you just sell. So even if you're on my email list, and even if I'm running a sale every week or close to it, do you know what? Like, I'm going live on this channel 11 months out of the year, once a week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Wednesday. Look at me in January, every single day this month. I'm trying to give as many entrepreneurs with the new year, new business, new me attitude. I'm trying to support y'all, right? Because I care. So this is keeping a joyful, upbeat, brand-based community, because I'm not just selling to you on my email list. I'm not just selling to you on every single live. it's not always a shill. But since I'm a business, I'm entitled to sell, and so are you. Okay. Otherwise, you're a hobbyist. And then it's like, people want to throw you pity money or please because of all the little scraps that you get. That's probably not how you're feeling if you're watching me. But here's the deal. To make your brand community happy on your email list, whoever finds you on your website, on your social, you need to be giving them content that at times isn't straight up sales related. Like maybe you're doing up to twice as many fun posts or free give backs or whatever to every one time that you sell, especially when you're a smaller brand. There's not a lot of know, like, and trust. You kind of need to curry favor with people. So that's why I'm saying, but there's so much content that you could create that's entertainment based. You're talking shop about whatever pain point they have, but you're joking about it. You're lighthearted, like whatever fits and is tasteful, of course. You could do entertainment based. You could do inspiration based content. You could do education based content. And, for coaches and course creators like me, or even other service based businesses like attorneys and CPAs and such, we can create content that's educational all day long. And it doesn't always have to be like, and now buy my thing. Or we could give you a whole lot of value. And at the end, if you need any help with this, but anybody who got to the end, you've got KLT with them, even if it's their first exposure to you. So if they're ready, then they'll pull the trigger or they'll keep you in mind. They're not going to automatically go, oh, heavens to Murgatroyd, they just tried to sell to me, scum. I mean, if they have all their marbles intact, they won't. Lenore said, just sent an email from 2 weeks ago to the unopened list. I'm ready for a tsunami of unsubscribes. I'm okay with it since it will reduce my monthly cost. I was automatically bumped up in the cost. Now, you see, there's so many things to learn about, guys. Like, it took me 8-9 years. And I'm not saying I'm the queen of everything, but dang. I mean, when I learned that, I must have saved myself a good $10, $15 a month when I did my first weed out, right? So, and I had thousands and thousands of people on my email list at that point, and it took me a week to get rid of 1,500 unsubscribes. I kid you not. Woo! So the bigger your list, you really have to check daily to near daily and or delegate as your intermediate to advanced. You get independent contractors, part-time to full-time employees, whatever it is that you do. Maybe it's a fusion blend of some or all of those things, but you need to delegate anything that's rote, database, copy piece, anything you don't like, anything you're not good at, anything. Just start delegating. So that's why I say to my students, you want to reinvest about 25% of your net profits back into your business. I know you can't go do all the fun things you wanted with your net profits and or pay off quite as much debt as fast as you want. But it's hard to scale and grow, and or you will burn out, and or if you're a solopreneur, beginner into intermediate, you can't do it all forever. You will burn out. Your health, mental, physical, emotional will just crumble. So I know, but we're more mature entrepreneurs here. We know real life. It's not going to be instantaneously and you're making 6 figures a month and it's all profit, right? But you get better at doing the thing by doing the thing. If you don't apply yourself and get that big wheel turning every single day and make a sale to your email list and your social following at least twice a month, you're not a real business. You're a hobbyist if you skip months. Maybe it's once. I don't have an email list, Stacey. That's too pushy. Where you making all the money you want? And almost always I'm hearing, no. Well, I know, but you have to start walking like a duck, quacking like a duck, looking like a duck. If you're an entrepreneur, be an entrepreneur. If you're a business, act like a business, okay? So, and be joyful and positive and upbeat about it, because you better love what you do, love who you do it for, and be totally excited to see them get, I know I am when I see my students, get the outcome that they were looking for, who went to profitability when they couldn't before, who's finally shattered 5 figures and gone to multiple 5 figures at least on a part-time hustle, who's gone to 6 figures. I mean, 8-9 years of this, tons, lots. Who's gone to 7 figures in 2-ish years? Got those. You know, I'm telling you, I am telling you, I am who I say I am. I can do what I say I can do, but I get the best love and excitement watching other people do it too. It ain't all about me. I feel like what I tell my students, I have to live by. I have a moral obligation to help people get out of pain and into pleasure and get the outcome that they want through my offerings. And so yesterday, if you missed yesterday, make sure that you don't. You go back and you watch yesterday's training, because we talked at towards the end, especially the UVP formula, the unique value proposition formula. You have a fuzzy business at best with fuzzy outcomes, almost guaranteed. If you can't in one sentence follow the UVP formula, that could be part of your problem in general with your business outlook, your offerings, your content marketing that you create, the emails that you write. If everything isn't shot through the lens of the UVP formula, directly or indirectly, you got fuzzy crap, and people are like, what? And then they're gone. Everyone has the attention of a goldfish today, and we all have so much competition for our attention in social feeds, from things that we follow, people, personal, things that we follow, business, professional. You have to be able to rise above all the pressure and the noise. So when you are creating content that isn't always buy, sell, product, offering, even if once a week you put out an incredible live stream and a replay for your ideal customers, you do an incredible YouTube video that gives them tips, tricks, and techniques that will help them with that intersecting interest that has to do with that main pain point that they're suffering from, so that they come to a business like yours, they're brought to a business like yours with offerings like yours to get out of pain and into pleasure, to get the outcomes that they want. That's uplifting for them. So having entertainment based content, education based content, and or inspirational based content, you know your own ideal customer best. You should always have relationship marketing content in your feeds that aren't straight up sales announcements, or here's my product, it's in green, isn't it gorgeous, limited quantities, how come you haven't bought it yet? Well, it's because you haven't made me laugh, you haven't convinced me that you care, you haven't inspired me at all. I'm looking through this feed, it's a bulletin board of all you. Again, you're not House of Gucci, so you can't command instantaneously people drooling and buying your stuff. You've got to earn that. You're a small fry right now. Right now, you can get bigger. Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill is one of the bigger influencers for food service, even over national and global chains on TikTok. And yes, it does drive traffic to their email list. It does drive traffic in person to their door, where people will say, I saw you on TikTok. My kids saw you on TikTok. My grandkids saw you on TikTok. So we had to come. Okay. Honest, or we wouldn't keep doing it. And we're at like 820 something thousand people, fans on TikTok. Having a big, joyous, ebullient, joyful social community is important. You know you're doing well when at least on one platform you have a true community going on. And maybe in the other platforms you have like nice comments going back and forth between you and your ideal customers, between themselves. But like if you have, say, a Facebook group, for example, where you have a bunch of people in it, and when you put out content, you get good exposure. Some pieces are always going to do better than others, but you get good exposure. Like Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, we have like 3,200 plus people in our Facebook group. If we post a poll, most of them will get dozens to hundreds of entries into that poll. If we post sneak peeks into things, folks are contacting us by phone or by messenger, or if they happen to be on Instagram, they're jumping from Facebook to Instagram, they'll DM us and they'll be like, I want that right now. Or when is it available? Can I put down a deposit if it's like a big cake or something? Like you would not believe. But, when you're posting stuff for them to enjoy, be inspired by, for them to laugh at or joke with or talk shop about, it's a joyful community after a while. Sure, in the beginning, when you're first starting to build up, say, a Facebook group and a presence anywhere, it's going to be like a nightclub that just opened. And if they don't have a crush of people at the beginning, you have a couple people who kind of come and go, oh, okay, maybe I'll come back another time. They run away, right? So, like, eventually you get enough people where there's kind of like a little bit of conversation going on. And maybe there's a DJ in the background. They're like, okay, maybe I can turn up the music a little bit louder because there's more people here, and they're talking to the owner and they're talking to each other and they're dancing up on each other, and they're just having fun, right? And then the more people who come, not only does word of mouth spread digitally in real life both, and it's a joyful noise because we're all talking shop, we're all talking about what inspires us, educates us, entertains us in a way that has to do with our main pain point. But of course, the club owner is coming in, doing the rounds. Like, so this is the version of you commenting, engaging, answering questions, tagging people, responding to people who are tagging you. Now you've got a nightclub that has something in common, that intersecting interest that everybody has in common. Now they're happy brand enthusiasts for you. And if you show them more attention than Gucci or whatever the functional equivalent of Gucci is, the younger they are, millennials especially, young at heart Gen Xers, and as they get more money, Gen Z, they'd rather buy from you and screw the man and screw Gucci, right? But you have to do something so that you compete for the hearts of Gucci, right? Like, or whatever the functional equivalent is for you for Gucci. So people will buy from businesses, business owners, and grassroots revolutions that they know, like, and trust. They feel like they're a part of. So when they feel like they're part of your Facebook group, or they feel like they're one of the regulars in the chat, or they're one of the regulars in the comment threads on your Instagram posts or whatever, you've got a bit of a brand community going on. So when you do make an offer to them twice a month, if you're a beginner, 3 times a month if you're intermediate, weekly if you're advanced, they're more likely to say yes. And if they don't buy or say yes or whatever, they're less likely to flee, right? Because you're still the club owner and you're still having fun, right? So maybe next time, but not right now. But they're not like scum and running away because you put deposits, if you will, into the bank of KLT. So you have to create a joyful social following. Same thing with your email list, really. So if you put out a YouTube video, you really should be emailing your list about it. Don't act like your list is way off in the yonder and you don't want to email them ever. You're just scared. So it's like they're frozen in amber. That number can't move. Like, because I'm scared. I'm going to make people mad. So I'll just leave it over there. That's ridiculous. You're leaving like 75% of your sales on the table, statistically speaking. That's ridiculous. But again, it doesn't have to just be like once they're on your email list, all they do is get your sales messaging. Granted, approximately 60% of all people who get on a business's email list expect to be sold to on the regular. That may be the main reason why they're on there. When they have money and inclination, they'll buy, right? Otherwise, they'll just delete your announcements, right? But like if you have a sexy Ray line that isn't about a sale, but it's about a YouTube video that you did that shows them tips, tricks, and techniques, or how a product is made or stuff like that. Like with Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, when I do a YouTube video for them showing how a special cake is made, like the unicorn cake that we do, and I email the list about it, I don't say go buy that unicorn cake. What I do is say, hey, if you haven't seen this YouTube video, you're going to want to, because you're going to see all the things that we do behind the scenes and all the different options, the crazy options that we've had. You're not going to want to miss this one. And you know what? You drive traffic to that YouTube video, which YouTube loves. You're starting a viewing session on YouTube from an email list. You go into your creator studio, you can see where your traffic's coming from. Is it social? Is it your email list, right? And YouTube will tend to reward you with a little extra boost push for doing that. They want to encourage you to continue starting viewing sessions on YouTube in this example. But if I'm Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, I just put out a YouTube video, I'm going to email my list. It will not be like buy this product immediately. It'll be like, see how it's made. You'll learn something cool. They go there. Now, do you know what happens on the flip side of that? Do you know what happens? Sales spike for that particular product that was spotlighted in that YouTube video, 24 hours, 48 hours. We have seen it go up to 72 hours, where there's an appreciable spike in people ordering that product, when at no point in time did we say buy it, especially in the email driving traffic to the video. And the video is more about what we told them about. And it's not like, and here's our number, and bye, no. And the sales will spike because there's no like and trust. You entertained them, you educated them, you inspired them. You entertained me because I'm like, cool, I'm a foodie and I love to see how it's made. You educated me because I get to see how it's made. And I didn't realize there were so many cool options. And what somebody picked, what was it? There was bacon as one of the fillings once. That was insane. And we're like, bacon, and people are like, bacon, in the comments, or they hit reply on the email and go, I could have bacon on the inside of my cake. Who knew, right? They think it's funny. So it's educational, it's entertaining to them, and it could be inspirational. Look at this beautiful cake that I could have for my daughter's next birthday party, right? And I didn't go, buy this cake, buy this stuff. The cake comes in great. You know what I mean? So does that make sense to you? You could have a very joyful email list where it's not always directly saying, buy my thing. You could have a joyful email list for every major holiday and tentpole event that you know is important to them. You just send them an email saying, for example, Merry Christmas, right? And I just wanted to take time out to tell you how special I think it is that you're on my email list and that you hear from me. You can hit reply if there's any special requests. I hope you have a happy and blessed holiday season or whatever, right? Since when did anybody with an email list even think to do that? Do you do that? So you could make being an email list VIP a cool thing. And then, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't say to you, people who are on your email list, ideally, there's no sale or coupon or savings unless they're on your email list at all. Now, I know that if you're a products-based business, you might do site-wide sales. For my coaches and course creators, you shouldn't ever put your courses on sale. What you should do instead is be like, buy during cart open and cart close, and I'll throw in some extra bonuses. Right. So that's different business models. It's different things. So maybe if you're a tangible products-based business, you say, okay, there's a site-wide sale, but your email VIP is how you create a joyful, more joyous email list. We talked about relationship marketing. Quick tip for sales-based marketing. They should get double dips and offerings that the general public doesn't. Or else you're missing out on 60% of them enlisting in your email or signing up for your email and staying on your email list. Remember, I told you 60% of them want to get the sales, the deals, and the steals that nobody else is going to get. Or at the very least, allow your email VIPs to shop a day before the general public. Give them something and let them know that the general public doesn't get this. And they're going to be more joyous and be like, oh, I'm not leaving, because whether I can buy or not, the next time I can buy, I want that special treatment. Or, oh, I can buy now and the general public doesn't get that. Glad I'm here. And then, of course, with your customers, I'm going to quickly close with this. And if you have any questions, put it down below, both live and on the replay. And if you haven't given this video a big thumbs up, make sure you do it. Okay? Because forget that it helps me. It helps the people who are subscribed to me at least see the replay in their feeds more. When you have customers, it's not simply enough to send them an email with like a tracking link in it if it's a physical product, or a thank you email and here's your login information again, and maybe time out for another 2-3 times that you remind them about where their login information is, and here's the link if you're a coach or a course creator or whatever. I want you to have some sort of white glove service that you create where you are saying, you're not just thanking them initially at their purchase. Let's go with a products-based business, but I will give you how this plays out for coach and course creator, or just services, doctor, lawyer, CPA, you're mowing someone's lawn, whatever. So if somebody buys a product from you, let's say they bought an essential oil from you, right? You make your own essential oils. Somebody bought them from you. Cool. So besides whatever emails you would normally think to send, and tracking links are huge so they don't get all paranoid. They can see the progress that their shipment is making to get to them, because that will cut down on your customer service requests a lot, and you're less likely to get somebody paranoid and try to refund. So that's like a big one right then and there. But I want you to kind of be like 2, 2, and 2. So 2 days after they make their purchase, I want you to thank them again for their purchase. And if they didn't get their purchase already, you want to make sure that they hit reply on this email to let you know that they got their shipment. Okay. And you or your staff will be like, cool. Some will reply, some won't, but they will all appreciate that 2 days after their purchase, you're not only thanking them again, but you're letting them know that you care if it got there, right? So they're going to be more joyful as a customer. 2 weeks later, I want there to be an email that goes out, right? And you can automate these things, or at least, do whatever it is that you do behind the scenes with whatever software or tech you're using or not using, but figure out a way that 2 weeks after somebody's made a purchase from you, you are sending out another email to them saying, how do you like it? Okay. How do you like it? Are you happy with it? Here's a quick tip, trick, or technique to use it. Like, best ways to store oil so it doesn't spoil, or if they got jewelry, the best way to clean the jewelry so it always looks good. Give them something that shows that you really care that they made the purchase and that you want them to make the most out of it. And again, they can hit reply to let you know if they're happy with it. If they have any feedback, good, bad, or ugly, you want to hear it because you care about them and you care about your business and you love what you do and you love who you do it for. So that's 2 days, then 2 weeks. Then a month to 2 months later, especially if it's a consumable good. So like, we're not just talking about edible stuff when we say consumable. Candles burn down, you consume that product. Oils you can use up, you consume that product. Makeup, skincare, that product was consumed. They now have empties, right? That sort of thing. Especially with consumable goods, it's always important to follow up and be like, hey, do you need a refill? And maybe you give them a coupon code or something that, again, only email VIPs get. And you want them to know that, and you want them to know that you're taking care of them. Because if they have empties and they need more, here's everything on a silver platter. How many of you live or on the replay have a system that even approaches that? Because I'm going to tell you that first sale is, of course, always the hardest to get. The second sale, when you have a 2, 2, and 1 or 2, 2, and 2 situation, 2 days, 2 weeks, and either 1 month or 2 months, right? If you're following up with that, even if they never say anything back, you are more likely to get that second sale and the third, and now they're a repeat customer, and now they're a zealous brand advocate. And to the extent that they don't do that, or they don't do that as much, they're going to notice you because ain't nobody doing this. I can almost guarantee you. And Gucci don't be doing this. Heather Dupay says, is it 2 days after they purchase, or it's their delivery? Your choice, actually. You could make it work either which way. However you have your software going, you could say, if there's a way to know that they got the item by delivery, then obviously do it 2 days after delivery. Okay. Because now they have it, and you're just making sure they got it. They picked it up from their front porch. It's in their house. They opened the box, right? But it could be 2 days after they purchase. If depending upon the software solution you have, you can't know, or there's no automated way to know. Do you know what I mean? So it's dealer's choice. How many people are even doing that, right? So whatever works, so that you are checking back in with them. How could you not help if you're a customer getting attention like this? How could you not help feeling more deposits, into the bank of KLT or know, like, and trust? So that was a really good question, Heather. But the bottom line is 2, 2, and 1, 2 days, 2 weeks, and 1 month, or 2, 2, and 2, depending upon the circumstances, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, right? So let me see. I have another question. Bridget says, maybe 2 days after both. Do they love you checking on them? It does not hurt. If you're a customer, are you ever pissed? You just put down your hard-earned money. You said, Stacey, take my money. And I sent you, I don't know, I do oils. Are you going to be mad that like 2 days after your purchase, I'm checking in with you? Make sure you check your tracker. Here it is. Or check the email that I sent you separately to check in with your tracker. And then 2 days after, you've had this for 2 days. Did you get it? Are you going to be mad that I'm checking in, that I care? I got your hard-earned money, right? So like, my goodness, of course they're happy. God, you remember me? This sale was 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months ago. Now, if you're selling collectible goods, do I think you should still do these things? Yes, because you should still follow up. Did you get it? Did you check the tracker? Just want to make sure. If you have any questions, hit reply. Wow, white glove customer service. You got it. It's 2 weeks later. Do you love it? Or if you got it for a gift for somebody, did you give it to them yet? Is everybody happy? It matters to me. Hit reply. Let me know if you care to do so. And then, you know what? A month to 2 months later, you could say to them, hey, this isn't a consumable good, but, our newest collection came out. I want to make sure that you see it. And, if you didn't take advantage of it yet, here's a little coupon for 20% off or whatever. I know that some people are going to go, but what if the person already bought and they didn't save 20%? And make sure you put with these coupons not to be combined with other offers. Be careful. Okay, let me say that. So what if somebody's like, I already bought it, and I don't know. I mean, you really should be giving your VIPs coupons and stuff like that. So if they didn't buy under a coupon already, you're following up with them about their previous purchase because you still care that you got their money and you want to serve them or someone they love again. So here's another coupon. Did you see our most recent sale? If you're an advanced business, like to me, you're almost 6 figures or 6 figures and above, that to me is one of the quick ways that I could say you're more advanced. You're doing a sale every week anyway, so you don't have to worry. If you're a beginner, you might more manually need to adjust things because maybe you're only doing 2 sales a month. Jacqueline Mainchard, hello. Hi, thank you for joining us. Jacqueline Marchand, I'm sorry. I was thinking about doing this for my customers 2 weeks ago, especially in these hard times. Thanks for reinforcing this. You are welcome. That has always served me well, whether I was in direct sales or not. So direct sales, I was more tangible product space. When I coach, I have Facebook groups, so I can check in with people like that and shoot them emails. They're getting a lot of attention from me. They're getting a lot of high touch from me, especially in my Funnel Dynasty course. And let's just talk about hard times, because there's always going to be like hard times, and sometimes are harder than others. So I want you to think about this 2 ways. Number 1, you need to do some entertainment, some education-based, some inspiration-based stuff, and send it to your email list and post it on social and reminders on social to make your content marketing really, matter. And during hard times, people will really and truly appreciate it when you are not just going for the sale all the time. You're showing that you care about whatever pain point they have, whatever like problems or solutions they might be looking for, whatever symptoms they might be suffering from, whatever's appropriate and tasteful given your niche, your pitch, your product, and your sitch or situation or business model and offerings. Of course, education, entertainment, inspiration. So during times, even if they're hard or not, disproportionately hard or not, people will always appreciate you more, and then you're more likely to get the sale from them because, again, deposits of know, like, and trust can do double the the benefits or the bonus during hard times. And also like during 2020 with all the lockdowns and stuff, I literally had thousands of students spread across all my different Facebook groups at that time, and people were panicking. Some people, my intermediate to advanced students, were like, nope, we're still selling, we're still getting sales, we're not going to slow down. But some beginners were like, I was going to launch, or I had a couple of, successful sales. So I have proof of concept, but what am I going to do, Stacey? Like 20 million people in America alone just lost their jobs. I have no business selling. Times are hard. But this is what I'm going to say. I don't mean to sound flippant about people suffering through hard times. And anybody who was a student of mine back in 2020, and I know several of you are on here live at the very least, you know that this is what I said. You still need to make offers, okay? And of course, the education, entertainment, inspiration-based content will help that along. But 20 million people lost their jobs in 2020 because of all the lockdowns and stuff. But as of that last census, there were 330 million people in America. That meant that for 310 million people in the United States, their circumstances did not change. Most people remained gainfully employed. And in fact, to boot, and I know I said this to my students, some of them, they now have excess money because they're not commuting anywhere. They don't have to get their dry cleaning done. They're not eating out, they're eating at home. Of course, that's going to be cheaper. Or if they're getting delivery or whatever, if they live upstate and they work downstate, of course, it's still going to be cheaper. Like, don't let things scare you and stop your business, because sadly, some parts of the world might not be having such a fun time, or whatever, what is doing in different countries. Are there mandates? Are there not mandates? Are there people losing their jobs or not? Most people, even in the Great Depression, remained employed. Most people in the 2020 lockdowns remained employed. It's business as usual for you. Do not allow anything to convince you not to sell. Don't. You may or may not have the best year of your life. A lot of my 2020 people had their best years of their lives at that point, and some have grown even in 2021 into 2022, like appreciably. But how many people told me, including 2 different 7-figure business owners, and one was Joe's, they were considering, not being open so much. And I was like, people need you. People need the takeout and delivery. Don't stop. They ended up having the best year ever in 2020, and they beat it in 2021, of course, as more people went back to work. They did over 1.3 million last year. That's not a joke, and it's not a lie. So here's the thing. And how many of my advanced business owners are 6 figures and climbing? So yes, I am not saying be flippant if suddenly 20 million Americans, again, who knows, would lose their jobs. There's still 310 million that their lives are going on and their financial circumstances did not change. They still need you. They still have pain points. They still want to get out of pain and into pleasure. You can't just fold because you're worried about what's going to happen to some people. Of course, we wish it were a perfect world and no one got negatively impacted. But you have to be open for business 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Gucci doesn't suddenly shut down because, people's finances are going bad, because Gucci knows they just have their ideal customers. They're serving them upper middle class and above will be able to shop from Gucci. And so as I wrap this up, most of my students know, if not all of them, I tell you, you don't want to compete on price. You don't want to be the cheapest deal in town. You don't want to be the Walmart of whatever your solution is. You have to drive an incredible amount of traffic to make up for an economy of scale to be able to be profitable enough to do that. If anything, good times, bad times, whatnot, raise your prices. Be towards the top of your industry. And in the content that you create, some of it educational, inspirational, entertainment based, you can always weave in why your solution is the best, why you use the best ingredients, why you use the best materials, why your processes are the best, right? People pay more money for custom crafted solutions that are meant for people like them that have the unique problems, or they feel the unique problems that they do. Upper middle class and above almost never get hurt by a bad market or don't stay hurt for long, right? So those are the folks you want to sell to. You'll take anyone's money. but you're selling to upper middle class and above. They're self-employed or they're making great money. They have golden parachutes. Those are the people you want to focus on, because then they can buy your consumable goods every month. They can buy your collectible goods. I'm not a jewelry freak. I don't have any jewelry in front of me right now. Sorry. Collectible goods every month. I don't know. I had a student who made Sansky eggs. And she was like, I can sell these in Christmas and I can sell these in Easter, but I don't understand. How can I sell these eggs every single month? And I'm like, make them collectibles. Design one for every season, design one for every holiday, design one for life events, design one for, she's like, oh, so that made these collectible goods. Because some people like to collect Sansky eggs, Psansky. Does that make sense, guys? Do you have any questions for me? I'll tell you what we're going to be coaching about tomorrow while I wait to see if there's any questions. Make sure you've subscribed to this channel if you haven't already. We have plenty of pre-recorded videos on here. There will be more coming up in February. I think February 3rd is going to be the first pre-recorded videos really back on this channel. And we'll be down to once a week with the live streams at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Miss Jacqueline. That's what I'm here for. Make sure you subscribe to me if you haven't already. Jacqueline or anybody else watching live or on the replay, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. It pushes out, especially now that we're going to go into replay mode, it's pushing out the video into the feeds of my subscribers more. So you're really helping them. It's not about me. Ann McDonald says, great info, thanks. You are welcome. For the students of mine that want the Red Velvet Frosting course to come back, I will do like a 3-day sale of that. I was thinking Frosting kind of ran its course, but apparently not. So I've had a few requests for it. So I will do a 3-day sale probably starting tomorrow. So I'll mention it on the live stream. If you're on my email list, I'll put it underneath the reminder for today's live stream. Linda George, thank you for the great info. My pleasure as always. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how to aim for the best network possible so that you hit a bullseye when you're doing not just your live networking, but your digital networking. Any real student of mine knows that I'm always talking about doing networking and talking shop in the groups where your ideal customer is going to hang out. Not just Facebook groups, but like elsewhere. So we're going to be talking about how to hit a bullseye more when you're doing that kind of networking, because it's not like you have just spare time to go lollygag around in groups. And you can't just be like, hey, buy my stuff, everybody, because you're going to be violating the rules of those groups. You're going to get kicked pretty dang fast, and everyone's going to go, ew, spam. But we're going to talk about tomorrow how to be more likely than not to make better connections while you are engaging with folks in Facebook groups, in Discord servers, in the comments of big Instagram influencers and brands and industry leaders and stuff like that. Wherever your ideal customer goes, 1-2 platforms that you should be networking on every day. And we're going to talk about how to make it more likely to tastefully get them to convert into followers on your social, get on your email list, and buy from you. So Catherine says, this is very helpful and excited to implement today's lesson. My pleasure, everybody. I will talk to you guys later. Bye. See you tomorrow, everybody.